Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some new drugstore gems. These are products from the drugstore that have quickly made their way into my everyday makeup routine. They're all some like newer launches that I think you'll be just as excited about as I am. So I'm going to try to talk about these in the application, like the way that I would apply them in the order that I would apply them. So I'm gonna get started off with my primer that I've really been loving. This one's from Wet n Wild. It's the Impossible Primer. Now what's so unique about this one is that it's actually a silicone-free primer, but it still has that, you know, slippy, slidey feel like a lot of other silicone primers do. The major drawback for silicone-based primers for myself personally is that they feel really heavy. They feel masking and suffocating on my skin. I also think that just for me, they're not like the most ideal because they're quite a distracting feeling on my skin. I don't like feeling like I have a lot of base products on. So when I first used this, I was like, oh, it's heavy, it's thick, it's very, you know, rich, and it's gonna be one of those primers that feels distracting on the skin, but it actually doesn't at all. I've tested it with several different foundations, tinted moisturizers, concealers. It seems to be pairing well with most of the products that I typically reach for. I haven't had any issues with pilling or the product separating with the products that I pair it with. So I'll keep you updated if I happen to try something that it really doesn't work with, but so far so good. And I've tested it with like all my everyday, you know, foundations, tinted moisturizers. Sometimes I'll just wear it all over my face and then spot conceal in certain areas. So it's really nice. Although it's mattifying, it weirdly enough does feel a lot more hydrating and nourishing on the skin than a lot of other primers that would fall within this family. This is the L'Oreal True Match Eye Cream in a concealer with 0.5% pure hyaluronic acid. This is a concealer that I had actually tried in the past. I don't know if where I purchased it from had a more limited supply on shades or what the deal was, but the last time I saw the display, it seemed to be that there were more shades available than the last time I saw this. And I will say, although I did really like this the first time I used it, I wasn't reaching for it as much because the shade wasn't perfect, and it kind of got thrown to the back of the makeup collection and I never was using it. So I did end up getting it in the shade W34 Light, which is a warm shade, so it matches my skin a lot better. And this is so unique of a concealer because it does have, you know, more of like a serum-like formulation, I would say. It definitely doesn't feel like anything else I've used. There's not another concealer in my collection or a concealer that I've used in the past that I can really compare this to give you some sort of way of gauging what this feels like, because it really does just feel like a hyaluronic acid serum or like a light eye cream. What I like about this is that it's more of a sheer to medium coverage. I personally don't find it to be able to be built up super full coverage on my skin, and I do find that if I overdo it with this, it just doesn't look as flattering. I think the magic of this product is how nice and natural that it looks, and you can use this as an all over light blur all over the skin as well, which I really like. So I will sometimes not wear foundation and I just want a little bit of coverage on my post-acne marks, the hyperpigmentation, or just darkness on my face in general. And I like how this, again, you'll see it doesn't give a ton of coverage, but it just helps lightly diffuse all of those visible spots. It's very comfortable under the eyes. It's got the hyaluronic acid in it, so it does feel really lightweight. It's not sticky like a lot of other concealers, and I think this concealer would be great for somebody who otherwise is very minimal with their makeup routine, doesn't really like a ton of concealer, or somebody that just wants something that's a little bit more no fuss, no muss, can be applied with fingertips and doesn't require much touch up throughout the day as well. So I think this is really nice. I've been reaching for it more than I thought that I would, because the first time I used it, I was like, this doesn't really have any coverage, but I find that I actually really like the way that this looks on a day-to-day basis when I don't feel like I need a lot of coverage. This is Revlon's Brow Creator Pencil. This is in the shade Soft Black. I think this is the perfect brow shade for my hair color just because I do have a lot darker of hair. I saw that this was either repackaged or reformulated. I'm not entirely sure, but I decided to try it because I was out of the like perfect shade of brow pencil. I was finding that the Milani one was looking a little bit too red in the sunlight, so I wanted something that's gonna match my hair color a little bit more. I do think that Revlon makes some of the best brow pencils at the drugstore. I like how the pencil formula is a little bit more hard, a little bit more dry. If a brow pencil is a little bit too creamy or overly pigmented, it's very easy to go into cartoon brow territory. So for someone like myself that already has naturally thick and full brows, I don't want something that's gonna go overboard because I just need a little bit of help in certain areas where my brows are lacking shape or they're just looking a little bit sparse. So I love the shade of this pencil. I love the actual size of the pencil. Really nice for creating those microfine feather-like, hair-like strokes. And then when you open the pencil right here, you'll actually get a powder product. So this would be great for somebody who wants a little bit more of a full coverage stroke, but you can actually use the edge of it as well and get thinner strokes. You can use the spoolie to help blend out the powder, but like I said, I don't find myself reaching for the powder very much. Ideally, if you did have a more sparse brow type though, you would apply the pencil and then set it down with the powder so that you really get that nice budge-proof set. But even if you're not gonna be using the powder, I still recommend the pencil because I just absolutely love the size and the pigmentation of the product itself. See, it's not overwhelming. So you're not gonna get like this full intensity color from the pencil. You really get different types of definition and intensity, so you can really customize and fully control the way you want your brow to look. Okay, let's just get these lip products out of the way because they're not particularly special in terms of formula, but I love the shades, and if you have a similar skin tone to me, I'm sure you'll love them too. So first up, I want to talk about this Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Ice. It's a very beautiful, almost like opalescent, light, glossy pink. I've spoken about the lifter glosses so many times on my channel. One of my favorite formulas ever, and I like that they smell like coconut water. They give you that really nice, juicy, wet glass shine. I love the subtle, like opalescent, light pink shimmer that this puts on the lips. Next, okay. These are a new launch from Revlon. They're phenomenal, but the shades that I had were a little bit too pink. I also found that they were really similar, so I just wasn't really picking one over the other, and I wanted to try another shade to see if I could get something that I would like more for every day, and I found it. This one is in the shade Wild Ride. This is the Color Stay Satin Ink from Revlon. These are beautiful, super full coverage, very similar to something that you get from a liquid lipstick, but a lot more nourishing, a lot more comfortable. Longevity is obviously not the same as a liquid lipstick that's gonna dry down, but you are left with a little bit of a stain once the product has worn off. So in my opinion, that's a little bit more of best of both worlds because you're not having, you know, dry, cracked lips, and it's just a lot more comfortable of a wear. This shade Wild Ride is like the perfect deep nude, fleshy, you know, but like still has a little bit of red to it. I don't know. It's just a really flattering shade. If you got a similar skin tone to me and you're looking for something new, I would say definitely check that one out. These are new lipsticks from L'Oreal. They are the Nude Intense Color Riche line. Now, mine is in the shade number 173. When I show you the swatch on my lips, I'm showing you without lip pencil just so you can really gauge what the color itself looks like on its own. Personally, love this paired with a deep brown lip pencil just so you get a little bit of extra definition around the lip line. And this is such a creamy, soft, plush formula of lipstick. If you are familiar with the Color Riche line, it's a very comfortable wear, not drying, not agitating. Will say though, really, really strong fragrance on this. I don't mind that. I actually really like the way the Color Riche line smells, and I'm a big fan of L'Oreal lipsticks in general. I like that they fragrance them. It's just, I don't know, smells good to me. But this shade number 173, so pretty, such a soft nude, looks really good at full intensity, but also, you know, applied my favorite way where it's just a little bit more blotted on the lips and just feels like a really pigmented lip balm, honestly, is what I would compare it to. Okay, next we have the Neutrogena Peptide Lip Plumping Serum. This is new. What I like about this is it is a lip plumper, but it's a lip serum. So a lot of times with lip plumpers, you know, they're glosses and so they look like something on your lips. I love how you can just dispense this onto your lips and then it plumps them. You get that nice tingling feeling so you feel like something's going on. And I actually really like just keeping this in my bag and wearing it with lip liner or just wearing it throughout the day, just, you know, a little bit of that. It does have a little bit of lip liner stains on mine right now, but you can see it has those little massage beads. So when you're applying the serum, it's super light. That's what the serum looks like. And it very, very quickly absorbed into the lips because the formulation is so light. All right, so I have a lot of feelings about this product. It went viral on, you know, TikTok and Reels, and it's people wearing this on its own. So that's why I purchased it, because I thought, oh, I would love to try another powder foundation. So it's the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Fresh Wear Foundation in a powder. It looks really bad on my skin on its own. Like, honestly, atrocious. I laughed at how bad it looked on its own. It's not flattering on its own to me. And I do feel like with powder foundation, for myself personally, the Bare Minerals original powder is really sets the bar so high, because that's really what I compare everything to. And I just personally did not find this to look good on my skin. That could be because I have a drier skin type, and it could be because I didn't feel like this actually had all that much coverage. I do have a lot of, you know, hyperpigmentation in my skin, and it wasn't covering that, and it created this very bizarre like orb look to my skin. I love this as a setting powder. I think it works amazing as a setting powder. Really one of the best setting powders I've ever tried. If you want something that will truly boost the longevity of your makeup and keep it in place all day, that is what this is really good for. It's also very touch-up friendly, which I really liked. Upon application, I don't use this. I tried using it multiple times, like just wearing it as an all-over foundation. I don't like using this for the initial set of my makeup. When I'm setting my makeup down, I want to use something that's a little bit more loosely dense. When I'm setting my makeup down the first time, I want to use something like that's not as dense. But for touch-ups throughout the day, really nice. Just keep the sponge in the little bottom tray down here. It's not fully matte. It does have a very subtle luminous quality to it, which I really like because it doesn't look chalky. I do want to know your opinion on it. Like, do you find it to be full coverage? Because I just personally didn't. I also just, when it came down to it, I just felt like it was quite irritating to wear on its own. On top of liquid products, beautiful. Very, very comparable to some other luminous setting powders. In fact, I really think I have a dupe for this that's in the, you know, luxury designer makeup category. And I think this is super comparable. So I want to test them side by side before I give you that dupe and make sure that I know what I'm talking about. But very, very reliable, good for all day wear. Prefer it as a setting powder though. This is a highlight duo. It's like a blush lighter. That's what Wet n Wild is calling it. This is the Hello Halo blush lighter in I Met Someone. So the peachy pink tone on the right, you could use to set your blush or wear as a blush. I don't necessarily always like to do that because I don't really like emphasizing texture right here. But if I do want like more of a juicy, bright, plump looking apple of the cheek, then I will lightly put that on top of the blush, but it's like, it's not my favorite place to put illuminator because typically I wear liquid illuminator underneath my foundation, but the highlight is what I'm really into. So you can see, like, if I just tap my finger into this, it literally looks foiled. And then when you apply this on your skin, obviously that's at full intensity, but it's one of those really beautiful buttery emollient powders that blends out and looks like a filter. It's absolutely incredible, and it just catches the light as a soft glisten. So if you are somebody who does not like that full, intense see my highlight from outer space type of highlight, you will love this. But if you are somebody who does like a full intense see my highlight from outer space highlight, you will also love this. It's a very versatile powder that's easy to blend out so that you just get a soft glisten or a really intense full impact shine. So it can do it all. You can wear it as an eyeshadow, you can wear it all over your face, lightly buffed for a veil of luminosity, or you can really concentrate it on the high points of your face if that's what you're into. Now, I think you don't even have to do this, but if you apply this on top of your setting spray, it's even more intense. So you can do it before or after your setting spray. It's still beautiful and intense without having that little bit of sticky base from a setting spray, but with the setting spray as the base, it really makes the highlight pop and look really nice. It's the one I'm wearing on my face today. I like how it's just like super soft, catches the light. It's not too intense, and I think it's really pretty and flattering and just looks really nice, feminine, and glowy. Next, I want to talk about mascara that I really want to give spotlight on my channel. It's the Air Volume Mascara from L'Oreal. I feel like this was completely overshadowed by the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. Not that they're comparable at all in, brush, formula, or even effect. They're completely polar opposite, but I do believe that they came out around the same time, and Sky High went absolutely viral and was sold out. Like, you could never get your hands on it. And Air Volume, I like better. Again, I'm not saying they're comparable, but for mascaras that were launched relatively around the same time, I thought that this would have gotten more hype. If you do have a similar lash type to me, my lashes grow out straight. They don't hold a curl. Those plastic bristle brushes typically don't do much for my eyelashes. I think you'll like this, especially just because I am half Filipino, so I have like a more Asian hair type. My lashes are straight, they don't do anything. This type of brush is gonna give you more of an effect, whereas the Sky High, it made it look like I only had like 4 eyelashes. I really do like it on my lower lashes and on the very tips of my top lashes, but to be brushed throughout the lash, it's not that great. This one gives me volume, length, flirty wispiness, mostly volume though. It's a very volume heavy mascara. The length isn't gonna be anything that's gonna knock your socks off, but it's gonna give you like just enough length to really create a little bit more impact. But if you are somebody that wants a lot more volume, you will love this. And the brush is a lot more lash friendly in my opinion. It's one of those bristle brushes. Not particularly anything super unique about it. The bristles don't stick out much farther from the handle. The tip is slightly tapered, but again, yeah, the brush isn't gonna like blow you away, but the effect of the mascara paired with the brush will. So love this, been reaching for it. It's like my go-to mascara right now. Now, the last thing that I wanna talk about is a setting spray. This is the Neutrogena Radiant Setting Spray. It's the Healthy Skin with Peptides Mist. I love this. I will say it's one of those, okay, that's not helping. I'll spray it maybe in this part of my hand. You can see it's like, okay, there will be a way that I can show you this. It's a slightly milky formula. For the most part, it's clear, no visible shimmer when I put it on my skin. It has glycerin in it, so that's what's really going to give you that nice, healthy looking skin. Glycerin in setting sprays and makeup products really gives you that like moisturized, bouncy, dewy, plump looking skin. So if you can get it in a mist or a prep product, it does make a really big difference. And I really do like this. I think the mist is nice. I was expecting this to have a little bit of a shimmer or pearlescence to it so that you got that like luminous finish. Again, I just really don't think that it has any of that. Like I don't, even in the, ingredients, I don't see any shimmer ingredients, but yeah, I really like this. It's not going to increase the longevity of your makeup, but it's going to refresh your makeup. So it takes away powderiness, cakey. If you're a little bit heavy-handed with certain products, it's nice to use to like re-blend things out. Oftentimes if I go in with too much liquid foundation or concealer, I'll take a product like this, spray it on my sponge, it's easy to like move things back around. I really like it as the final set because it just takes away powdery finishes completely and just gets everything looking a little bit more skin-like. And it's a nice mist. It's good for using as prep and the final spray of your routine as well. So I really hope that you found this interesting and that you found some products that you might want to try. If there are any other new drugstore launches that you're seeing that you want to see me test out and talk about on the channel, please be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to know. Other than that, I think that's everything I wanted to mention for this one. I'll list and link everything in the description box down below for you, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe if you haven't earlier, and I'd love it so much if you'd come follow me on Instagram too. I almost forgot to say that. Okay, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.